I tend to like some very obscure films from time to time, and I definitely am not afraid of the controversial aspect of things, unless it's actually like a snuff film or something real like that, of course. But with that being said, welcome to Controversial Corner. What I'm going to do in this whole segment, I'm going to make a new segment on it, is I'm going to just kind of talk about films that are controversial and ones that aren't in the realm of normality that most of us talk about, and like things like Toy Story, and even if it's more graphic, I don't think that We Were Soldiers was controversial. So what I'm talking about today is the 2009 film Antichrist, directed by Lars Von Trier and starring Charlotte Gainesburg and Willem Dafoe. So first of all, this film is about a husband and a wife who lose their son in a horrible, tragic accident, and them just dealing with it. And Willem Dafoe is a therapist who says that he is going to help his wife, Charlotte Gainsbourg, and himself, of course, get over or at least deal with their grief. And Charlotte Gainsbourg tends to deal with it harsher than he does. He, of course, has grief. You see it and all that, but she can't really seem to let it go at all. It's just morbid, horrible, whatever. So she decides that she wants to go away into the woods, and they call it Eden. I don't know if it's supposed to actually be like the biblical Eden or whatever, but so the reason I decided to do this for sequel month, A, because it is one of my favorite films, like I said, but it is Lars von Trier's Depression Trilogy Part 2. So there is Melancholia, Antichrist Part 2, and Nymphomaniac Parts 1 and 2, although they're supposed to be one film anyway. So the film is separated into different parts as well. There is the prologue, as Lars von Trier films tend to do. The prologue, grief, pain, also known as Chaos Reigns, despair, um, three beggars, and epilogue. And I'm sorry, despair is also known as genocide. Um, so the whole film is just despair and gloom. It really, I mean, you really see the pain. There's a very beautiful um, operatic song in the film to juxtapose to what is actually happening. So the way that this starts off is Charlotte Gainsbourg and Willem Dafoe are busy having sex in their shower, and their son gets out of bed. He's probably two-ish. Gets out of bed and manages to climb out the window and fall to his death, and of course spirals into where they are. And then when they get to this Eden place, it's really just this like remote cabin in the middle of the woods, wherever they are. It doesn't say. And actually, the characters, the if you look it up, it's he for Willem Dafoe, she for Charlotte Gainsbourg, and I'm pretty sure it's just boy for their son. I don't even think that the son has a name. And there are other people in the film, but they're truly background characters. So technically speaking, there's three people in the film, but technically there's only two because the son's not in it very long. But it is very it's heavy. I'll say that. You've really got to open yourself mindfully and emotionally, and you really have to prepare. I mean, it's a dive. And for those of you that haven't seen the film or haven't seen anything by Lars von Trier, he does this a lot. He's very in your face with it, and sometimes he gets a little up his own ass, but not in this film. I don't think. I think this film is just a very good film. It's horrible. It's morbid and sad and depressing and all of that, but it is part 2 of the Depression trilogy. He has said that. So, it's there actually was a video game based off of this called Eden. Well, I mean, it was scheduled to be a video game based off of it. Was going to be called Eden. I don't know how that was going to work, because even if you go through the film, I really don't know how there was going to be a full game based off of it. I don't know what the point is. I don't know. I really don't know. But there's a lot of Lars Von Trier, in a lot of ways, for his directing style, kind of reminds me of David Cronenberg as well. He's very real and very visceral and very um, just committed to what he's doing. And the sex in this film is very David Cronenbergian. Um, if you've seen something like Eastern Promises or A History of Violence, there is sex in those films, but it's not like, oh, passionate, sexy, and here's my breasts and my dick and all that. It's very rough and raw and not very attractive, and that's how Lars von Trier decided to do this film. And the same way, it's not. It's very. I'm going to do more than one review on this or talking about it because I'm going to go into the um you know overall, like, how I feel about this part and this part and all that kind of stuff. But just right now, I'm not going to really give any spoilers, which I haven't already. But there's some very intense moments, so I definitely, if you haven't seen it, you're going to watch it, I definitely recommend putting your big boy and girl pants on. I mean, it's a rough one. It's a good one. It's a great film. It really is, but it's hard to sit through. But I definitely recommend it. Like I said, it's actually one of my favorite films. And uh, what more can I say without really getting too far into it? The acting's great, and everything looks great, and the writing's great. It's just a great all the way around. It's just not necessarily pleasant and happy. But what do you expect with a film with the name Antichrist? So there you go. Like I said, it's free on Tubi. Check it out. Let me know what you guys think if you haven't seen it. And if you have seen it, let me know what you think in the comments. And I did warn you, so be careful. Like I said, I'll probably come back to this one and give more of an in-depth whatever. But this was just more of a, what I could without spoiling. Take it easy.